TLD, Matty Gunner, Richard-Erik Jarvi and Bidoor. Welcome to Scoundrels, Movies, News, and More. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scoundrels. Oh wait, Jarvi's not here to do his bit.
The best show on the interwebs.
The Jarviest show on the interwebs, just not this week.
the Jarvi list show.
The Jarvi list show. That's right. Me and Jarvi are not. Jarvi is not here this week. Bidoor, of course. Sorry, Bidoor, we couldn't wait up for you again this time.
I like this new frame. This is new. This is new. When did we get this?
I put that on a while ago. I just never decided to use it. Really, I don't know. I use it like when I was doing a Star Wars one, but I found a different one that was more Star Wars related. So I kind of like this one. Maybe I'll throw this one in there. Maybe to get somebody to put your Twitter stuff on there as well to make it more official. A Scoundrels one. I guess it's somebody to do it, but not yet. Not yet. Welcome to Scoundrels. Matty, my friend, how are you doing, Matty Gunner?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy. How are you?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty fun. This is a fun episode this week, I think. We had some ideas floating around. Obviously, we go through on this show, we go through some news bits at the top. We usually do a main topic, which is kind of cool today. Kevin Feige's handed us the keys to the kingdom, apparently. And we're going to pitch some MCU projects that we want to see happen. And then down there, we try to do something else, like little fun things at the end, maybe a view of the week we like to talk about, things like that. Today, I found something, actually, I want to shout out Cole. She's in all the action chats and
I know Cole. Yeah,
chat. Cole, she has sent this on Twitter. Sent the action guys and me and tagged me in this. It's looks like it's great. I kind of watched the first minute of it. I said, you know what, I think I want to react to this live. It's Nicolas Cage replying to fans on the internet. The GQ thing, one of the things they do. It's just talking fans. I just love Nick Cage. I know we love Nick Cage, and I just think it'd be a lot of fun to try to react to live. So what the hell, we'll do it. Here at PLD Products, I'll give you a few notes up top before we go. I mean, you have a new episode of Crown Jewels going to come out today at 5 o'clock Eastern. That's 2 o'clock Pacific. And me going over the song Son and Daughter. And then after that, tomorrow we have a new episode of Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film. PG and I tackling the Curse of La Llorona. That's going to be coming tomorrow on your Spotify's and all the things. I have been putting them up on YouTube, but it kind of seemed like a waste of time. I wasn't getting that many views, and it's just the audio anyway. So you guys know where to find it. You can go find it there at this point. I do want to make a soft announcement also. I talked to my son, Tyler, and he wanted to do some kind of review with me on PLD projects. So that might be forthcoming, doing some, maybe reviewing some Attack on Titan, maybe, or some other things. He has some video essays he wants to throw up there. I said, sure, you can throw up on PLD projects. So as long as it's a good quality. If it's not good quality, you're cut. You're done.
It'll be the pilot episode.
Exactly. What's up, Sean? Good to see you, of course. Happy Monday. It's actually Monday. It's a Monday show, but it's on Tuesday.
It's a Monday show on Tuesday. Yeah.
Although it might be a Tuesday show. I kind of like it on Tuesdays.
I kind of like it on Tuesday. I'm kind of especially this weekend, I was licking my wounds a bit after the big UFC event over here in London. So I definitely needed it to be on a Tuesday because yesterday, I was in no state to be talking about movies.
I get you. I mean, I Sunday and Monday for me are actually a lot of times I work on some podcast stuff. That's when I record Crown Jewels. I work with PJ on Two Mediocre White Dudes. And we also do a lot of our question writing for the movie Trivia Showdown. And we actually wrote 434 questions for the free-for-all that's upcoming. So it's probably overkill.
How many martial arts movies did you put in there? Stop spinning off martial arts movies, you cowards.
Say hi to Lego, also the chat. Always great to see Lego. Lego is one of my favorite personalities on Twitter and in this community. I happen to agree with her on almost everything, I think, and passionately agree with her on a lot of these things. So at PJ too, PJ wanted to throw that out there too. Actually, I forget we were talking. We actually mentioned Lego about we were doing one of our Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film, and we tweeted something, or Lego responded, and I mentioned some things. I knew how Lego was going to respond to it. I can't remember what it was. It was something, I think probably something Carpenter-esque or horror rated, and she responded just like I thought she would, or how she would, or excited about it. And PJ and I were like, We knew it was going to happen. We love when it happens. So
that's always good when like you create something and like you have a specific person in mind. You know they're gonna love it, and then like they hear it or they see it and they just absolutely love it.
Bingo, exactly. All right, well, Matty, let's get into the news and let's see where this goes.
Okay, so first news topic. Sorry, Jarvi, but we're gonna have to cover it without you here.
I can't believe we're covering this without him. I can't believe it. But God,
the Avatar 2 trailer is rumored to be dropping during Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Now, here's the bad thing. Jarvi's the one that's most excited about this, probably.
Yeah. I put this in the news document, and then I forgot that Jarvi's not going to be on the show today. So I thought, you know what? To punish him, I'm going to keep it in there.
And Jarvi's trying to watch it. He was on a trip this week. That's what he said. I think he was on a skiing trip.
Yeah, he's
and
skiing. He's like in the mountains.
He had like bad internet in where he was. He said he's like, I'm gonna try to hop on and like at least like try to be in the chat and stuff. If you're in the chat now, Jarvi, sorry, not sorry. We're talking about it today. I gotta be honest with you. Like I liked Avatar when it came out. I definitely forgot about it. Like it seemed like most of the world did. And then James Cameron's been promising this for years and years and years and years. And I kind of feel like I will get excited about it more when the trailer drops. I do feel that way. I do feel like I want to see what happened, what he's been up to. Why is he committing 4 projects to this? You know what I'm saying? Like he's got like 4 sequels and everything else. And
like,
I want to see
one bombs.
Exactly. What if this one bomb? It's all over at that point. But Cameron himself has never really made a bomb. Like he's been involved in some stuff like Terminator, Dark Fate, which didn't exactly succeed overall. Yeah. But he was like a producer role. I've never seen him direct anything that really was off kilter. So it's until he does, how do you not give him the benefit of the doubt? You know. So I mean, while I didn't love Avatar and go back to it, it was still a fine film.
Speak of the devil.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Checking in from Andorra. Can't hear you. Looking at your gorgeous faces. Well, okay, you can't hear us. Like. We're talking about Avatar 2, Jarvi. You're not here.
I'll put it here. He's looking at us. Wait. I'm going to put this up real quick. Wait a second.
Are you going to put up like a message for him?
Talking Avatar 2, Jarvi. There you go. So now you should be able to see what we're talking about. I'm a cruel demon. I'm a cruel boss. I know, but
you're a good friend. You're a really good friend.
I'm a good friend. What are your thoughts on it, though?
In the words of Shania Twain, that don't impress me much.
Fair enough.
Like I thought Avatar was okay. I didn't. Right. I wasn't like mad for it, like a lot of people were. I thought it was good, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm dying to see an Avatar 2. Please give me an Avatar 2 right now. Like. It'll probably come out. It'll probably break all the records apart from Avatar 1, which will just get re-released before they drop Avatar 2 to lead into Avatar. So they have the back-to-back of Avatar 1 and Avatar 2. Yeah, it's going to be another stunning visual from James Cameron.
That's true. It does have some good people in there as well. I do like Stephen Lang is there. I like him. That's good. That's a good point, Will. I'm not even sure Avatar 2 is real until I see footage. That's true. Maybe and that's what I'm saying, I guess, in a way.
Pixar didn't happen.
Like, I want to see, like, maybe that's what the trailer does. The trailer actually makes it feel real because it doesn't feel real. Because I feel like we've been talking about this for so long. Like, what are we waiting for? What are we doing here? So maybe that will actually help hype it up a little bit for me, possibly. But either way, enough. Jarvi's not here to talk his phrases. Let's move on to the next
yeah, I think out in the mountains, like maybe a polar bear ate his phone or something. Okay, so now Amazon, in an Amazon move, this is what happens when you don't have to pay taxes. Amazon have acquired MGM Studios for the amount of $8.5 billion with a B. Wow. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but it actually seems like it's almost like cheap. Can you consider like the amount of like product that MGM has put out over the years and the franchises they do? I mean, 8.5 billion. That's a couple of Bond movies, a couple of Rocky movies, a couple of a RoboCop streaming series somewhere, maybe. I mean, like that seems like it could very easily make its money back. The big thing, I don't love this idea because I don't love. It's more of a monopoly now. It seems like we're going to like it's going to get down to like Disney and Amazon. That'll be about it. Maybe in Warner's will have it with HBO Max a little bit. But it's more and more going towards that direction. I don't like that. What I do like about it is the fact that since I can't stop it, I do like that in the article. It does say they're not expected to make any changes to the Bond franchise. We're not going to see James Bond just become a streaming thing all of a sudden. They're going to stay theatrically. They're committed to the theatrical experience that has been put in place by Engine before. That's okay for me. That's what I like. That's true. MGM is worth billions. Double up. That is double what Disney paid for Star Wars, and that is nuts. That is a little nuts. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Star Wars has already made Disney their money back. I don't think Bond can do that necessarily so quickly.
No, especially if you think about like they're still trying to pick who's going to be playing the next Bond. I mean, the BBC, it was on BBC News the other day here that there's a strong rumor that Cillian Murphy's going to be taking up the mantle, but like we don't even know what direction they're going to be going with it. Like, is it going to be a TV series? Is it going to be another movie? Like, how are you going to?
Well, this is saying not a TV series. This is pretty much saying not a TV series. They're saying they're definitely ready to do the theatrical experience just like they've done it before. Indiana Jones climbing all over my desk. But I do think like the good news is it does complement the Prime Video and Amazon's like Prime Video offerings, because you get the whole Rocky franchise now. You get the whole Bond franchise if you want it. You have a lot of things back there that I think it will eventually make its money back as need be. But it's interesting to see that. It's interesting to show that the FCC let this happen. And what does this mean going forward? I don't really know. I feel like this is not heading in a great direction, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I'm not really an expert on these things.
Yeah, it just seems like Amazon and Disney are eventually gonna buy everyone up until there's no one left to buy. Then they're gonna be like, well, what do we do? Do we just merge?
Right. Maybe that's what's gonna happen.
That'd be crazy.
Well, okay, let's go to the next news bit.
So our next topic, there's a new poster out for Alex Garland. The new A24 horror movie Men has confirmed a trailer release date. Now, Alex Garland, I believe he direct Deus Ex Machina?
He released Ex Machina, and he directed Ex Machina and Annihilation. Both films I really highly enjoyed. He's a very he also did a lot of writing for a while before he went to his own movies. The guy is a genius. The guy is
He's English, right?
Director. Was it? He's
English, right?
Yes, I believe so. Okay, he's very impressive. Everything he's done. So I don't know much about this movie, but he's the guy that when a movie's announced by him, I'm there opening day, so I'm excited about it. So give me a show tomorrow. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
He's a great director overall. I've seen everything I've seen by him. It's just very intelligent. He makes great sci-fi, great like horror aspects to it. This seems like it's more of a straightforward type horror film potentially, or I shouldn't say straightforward because Alex Garland never does anything straightforward, but it's definitely I think there's less sci-fi aspects to this horror film. And like Ex Machina and Annihilation both had sci-fi aspects. This seems more psychological horror.
I've heard so many good things about Ex Machina. I've never seen it. But everyone keeps telling me to watch it.
You really should. It is a phenomenal film. I'm not gonna lie. It's great. It's a small cast, just basically Oscar Isaac, Domhnall Gleeson, and Alicia Vikander, and it's really strong, really strong. But yeah, so I put that in there because I'm excited about that. But all right, let's move on to the next topic then.
So the next topic is another PLD special.
It is.
And as a Brit, I feel like I have a civic obligation to talk about this. The rumors are in. Hugh Grant will be playing the next Doctor in the next season of Doctor Who.
That is the rumor. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's exciting enough for me to think about. I've read both sides. This article I actually include that as a bad idea. They said that sinking back into someone who's famous is not a good idea to reboot Doctor Who, because Doctor Who is in kind of the needing of not a reboot per se, but like a reimagining,
reinvigoration.
That's the best. That's a better word for it. Because Jodie Whittaker obviously was the Doctor of the most recent incarnation for the last couple of seasons, and it has not been met with great aplomb. It's been actually
did not go down well over here.
No, it's not over here, and never here either. And unfortunately, it's not her fault. There's nothing to do with her. She actually makes a good Doctor. Unfortunately, I am not a fan of Chris Chibnall, who is the showrunner and writer. And I just don't think it's worked at all. It's been very convoluted. His episodes have been unexciting. It's time to do something new. But Indiana Jones, my cat is wreaking havoc over here. Thank you, Indy. We're a professional show, guys. Professional show.
Indy thinks she's in the Temple of Doom.
It's what it does. It does. But what I was saying, so Chris Chibnall it's very convoluted and everything else. But Russell T Davies is now coming back for the 60th anniversary. And Russell T Davies, if you don't know, is the man who brought back Doctor Who initially back in 2005, and he was the showrunner for the Eccleston era and for the David Tennant era, and David Tennant going into Matt Smith is probably the height of the new Who, so to speak.
Was he the one that did the? I think it was like, I remember watching it. It was the Christmas special, and it was I think it was like Dave Tennant's last one.
Yep.
Where it's like he just looks and he just says, "I don't want to go."
Yes, and that's Russell Davies.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Russell Davies wrote all the David Tennant stuff, pretty much, and that's a great one. In fact, on PLD Projects next month, Patreon, the Two Mediocre White Idiots in a Box are going to be going over a David Tennant special called Waters from Mars, another Russell T Davies episode. But I do think it's a good shot for him to come back. Now bringing Hugh Grant back, that's another interesting angle. What I like about it is that if you bring Hugh Grant back now, or not back, if you bring Hugh Grant, technically he paid the Doctor in a comic release special once. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But if he is to come as the Doctor, Russell T Davies has always been a person who thought, he's been quoted as saying, Russell, that this should be kind of like the MCU from Britain. This should be a big universe. There's so many places you can go with Doctor Who. He tried to do it a little bit before. That's where Torchwood came from. That's where the Sarah Jane Adventures came from. A couple things like that.
I remember that.
And Russell T Davies has only gotten better and more powerful with things. So, I mean, that could really, really drive home the point. If you have somebody like Hugh Grant's name and his personality, he's a known commodity. That's the time. If you bring all this back as you're starting to reboot this whole thing, that's a big splash. And I think it would be great if you have Hugh Grant come in for one season, just one season, and then you don't tell anybody, and there's a surprise regeneration at the end of the year, the end of the season. Like, you don't say it's coming. You talk about it. You just say he's the next Doctor. You don't talk about it. Also, at the end of the season, he dies, regenerates into the next Doctor Who. But you spend that season building him up and like exploding out the Doctor Who franchise. I think you can do wonders with that franchise and really bring it back in a huge way.
And ever since he did The Gentleman, it seems like Hugh Grant's kind of having a resurgence. Like he's coming back and doing like a lot more stuff. I know he's working a lot with Guy Ritchie. Right. Like he seems to like really connected with Guy Ritchie. Now I can't remember the name of their new movie that they're doing together. I think it's like a sequel to The Gentleman or something.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either now.
Or a prequel, but I know they're working together again. So yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have someone with Hugh Grant's name attached to it.
John Getz, apparently MGM is worth more than the games. Elder Scrolls Fall.
That's crazy.
Sold for $7.5 billion. Wow, that is crazy.
The fact that Bethesda sold for $7.5 billion, that's crazy.
Oh, all right. Well, we got one more news bit we're going to talk about before we get into our topic of the week. This is the one that we were waiting for a little bit. Christopher Lloyd. I'll even say this one because I'm already here. Christopher Lloyd is going to guest star in Mandalorian Season 3. Heavy. That's all I got to say about that. I love it. I'm all for it. Although if his name isn't Del Orion, I don't know what we're doing here.
Del Orion. Del Orion. I like it.
Again, this is for a small role. Obviously, it's provide for like, I'm gonna guess he might be like a character the size of like Bill Burr's part, maybe something like that, where he makes it
like a Michael Biehn kind of role.
Michael Biehn role. I'm hoping it's a little more like he can make a couple of appearances. I don't know what he would be necessarily. I mean, he could be the crazy mad scientist like Doc Brown. That's obviously a way you can go. But he's actually really cool for this. I think I loved him in Nobody. I thought that was a great role for him in Nobody when he was.
I still need to see that.
Oh, you would like that, I think. I think you would.
Yeah, it's very much like John Wick, huh?
Yeah, it's very much like John Wick in a way.
Okay.
It's not quite as good as John Wick, but it's still a lot of fun. He features as Bob Odenkirk's father, and he plays really well. Yes, it's pretty fun.
I didn't think there was much of an age gap between those two.
He looks well. Christopher Lloyd pretty much has looked the same since like 1967. It feels like he never really changes that much.
I just tried looking for it on Twitter, but I can't find whoever posted it, and I wanted to give them credit. So if you're watching this, and I'm sorry, for not giving you credit, someone posted a meme. It was Grogu and Din in the N1, and they look across and they see Doug Brown, and Doug Brown just says hyperspace lanes. Where we're going, we don't need hyperspace lanes. I just thought that was absolutely hilarious.
I love
You
that.
know, there's gonna be a wink to Back to the Future
Oh,
because that's what Filoni and Favreau started doing. Like all the movies that like Lucas loved and like that they loved growing up, they gave a little wink to. So you know, there's gonna be a little
100%. All right. Well, that is our last bit of news for the week. Thank you, Matty, for putting it together for us. Let's move on now to our topic of the week. And the topic of the week is something I came up with. It was kind of a little bit inspired by your last week when you recast the new X-Men. And now Kevin Feige is going to give us the keys to the kingdom, the proverbial kingdom of the MCU. And we have to pitch him 3 projects. And we decided to put him 3 projects. We'd cast it. We'd choose a director, maybe, and choose what they're doing. And I decided to go a little further. That I laid groundwork for some future projects that I didn't really get into. So I don't have to at this point. This is still early on. I was getting in there. I chose 3 different ones. And if you know me very well, you know that I'm a big Hercules fan. From the MCU. So goddamn right, he's going to be in all 3 of my projects.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm going to make up for lost time, so fuck it, let's do it, right? We'll start with you, Matt. What's your first pitch you're going to make?
Okay, so my first 2 are kind of rushed because my my third one is absolute gold and will take a little bit longer for me to explain. But my first one is a medieval period piece set in Victorian England in the 1800s. You know, the MCU, they've been dabbling in different genres and everything. So I want to see a Victorian England period piece starring Jonathan Rhys-Meyers as Mr. Sinister.
Ooh, that's
like the origin of Mr. Sinister. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is like a dead ringer for Mr. Sinister.
Okay. I like this. I like where this is going. I do like.
Wait till you hear the director.
Okay.
Give me Kingdom of Heaven in the MCU. Come on, baby. Give me Ridley Scott as the director.
Oh, that's deep. I like that. That's dark. I love that. Oh, that could be good. That could be great. Oh, I like this. All right. Any other cast did you cast anybody else or?
No, that was all I could really think of because I was kind of like, who could play his wife? I don't know.
Okay. All right. I will go on here. We go. Let's see this. I want to say John Getz, Christopher Lloyd is coming to Steel City Con. They just announced. I can interrogate him for spoilers if you guys want.
Please.
Yes, please, John. Absolutely. I'm sure Filoni and Favreau being like Chris Farley when they meet him. Hey, remember that part when you were in the Old West? Yeah, that was awesome. I totally can see that too.
Yeah. I can't wait for the gallery.
The director's cut is much better than the single cut.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Theatrical cut, rather. Okay, we'll move over to my first pitch. Actually, 2 of my pitches are related. They're going to lead to bigger things down the road, I think. My third one is completely on its own. First one is a film. And I didn't want to pitch much difference. I actually wanted to adapt a miniseries that was one of my favorites when I was a little younger. Aries, God of War. By Mike Emming. It was a mini series that introduced Ares. Ares had always been a villain with Thor, with Hercules, things like that. Mike Emming did this 5-issue miniseries. It was really a dark, violent horror.
Sweet.
Like it's a thing where basically because you start out with Ares having kind of like left Olympus, left the world to a degree. I mean, left like that world. He was living. He was a single father. Ares had a son. I have no idea. I can't remember what happened to the mother, if the mother was around or whatever. And hey, real quick, Dark Reign. That's actually kind of sort of what I'm leaning to, Keith, isn't it? It's good to see you in the chat, by the way. And his son is kidnapped by a god called Mikabashi, who's from the Japanese mythology.
Yeah.
And the Japanese mythology the Mikabashi had declared war on Olympus, and the Olympians wanted Ares back because Ares is their god of war, of course. But Ares didn't want to come back. He was rejected. He was done. He was done being like their whatever. He was done being their lapdog. He said basically. So Mikabashi kidnaps him and draws him into the war. And it's this big violent. Ares comes back down to this mohawk. He starts going like it's literally like almost like 300. Or in a way, and he's in there.
I was gonna say this sounds like a lot like 300. This sounds right up my alley.
Good. It's so
Jerry,
good.
let me guess, Jerry B playing Aries?
I thought about that, but I thought it'd be too on the nose.
Okay.
So here's my cast. I actually cast this thing because at the end of it, it's going to end up leading to something else. But and part of it's Dark Reign actually. Aries being Travis Fimmel.
Yeah. Put my boy Travis in anything.
Alexander being Jacob Bertrand from Cobra Kai. Hawk.
Damn, you're reuniting Ragnar and Bjorn. Yes.
Well, Squirrel Girl will make an appearance, Monty, in my third at some point in my third pitches of Disney Plus series. That's a spoiler.
Okay.
I definitely could have Squirrel because everybody's going to be in that show at some point or another. Hercules, Joe Magniello.
Bro, that's perfect. Joe Magniello is yes, yeah. Okay.
Pluto, Clive Owen.
Clive Owen was gonna be my pick for Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, but then I was like, nah, you gotta go Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Like that's the spitting image. But Clive Owen was my like, should I go with him? So yeah, okay.
Aphrodite, Alexandra Daddario.
Now we
wrong there.
Mm.
And finally, as the villain, Mikabashi, the Japanese mythological god, Ken Watanabe.
Right. I was like, is he gonna go Hiroyuki?
I thought about that. I did think about that as well. I wanted
to Ken Watanabe, yeah, for sure.
And directing it, Mike Flanagan. Let's lean into that horror aspect of it and really deep dive into it.
Make it fucking violent and gory.
Violent, gory, and everything else. And the idea I had was their post-credit scene after the whole thing is over. There'd be two things. You're gonna meet Amadeus Cho, played by Ross Butler from 13 Reasons Why, and he's gonna recruit Hercules for something which I'll talk about because it's my second pitch.
You're going heavy on this.
There's a second scene. Norman Osborn is going to show up and recruit. Nope. I don't want to use a same actor. I would use
okay.
Thing. So Norman Osborn approaches Ares, and you're gonna start planting the seed for the eventual the Dark Avengers into Dark Reign thing because Ares is a part of that. Norman Osborn, played by Ed Harris.
Fuck. With Timothy Chalamet as Harry?
Potentially. Okay, we're not there yet. We haven't gotten there yet, so I might not go that route. But there you go.
He's my ultimate fan cast for Harry. I just think Timothy Chalamet and Tom Holland on the same screen together, like it needs to happen at some point.
That's not bad, too. Yeah, Sofia Vergara wouldn't be bad either. No, I think some different though. Here for Ross Butler. Ross Butler would be a great Amadeus show. I can't wait to see him. And he's part of my my next pitch as well. So we'll go for there. Joe M as Hercules, absolutely. Exactly that's what I'm thinking of with that.
Yeah.
And get thinking DiCaprio would be a good Osborn. That'd be cool too. That'd be kind of cool. I like that. All right, let's go into your second pitch then, Matty.
Okay, my number 2 is I will be appearing on our good friend Dan Bettenhausen's Fantastic Four podcast at some point in the future. Unfortunately, my 2 directors I've picked, I can't use this casting for. So I am taking this opportunity to use it here.
Okay.
I want a political suspense thriller on the rise of Doctor Doom to taking over what was the country? Latveria,
yep.
Latveria. His uprising in that, starring Cillian Murphy as Doctor Doom.
Interesting.
And directed by Murphy. You may know him from The Hunt for Red October, John McTiernan.
Ooh, that's an interesting choice. Oh, PJ Campbell, what is this shit? Well, PJ, you're not here, so we got to do something else. You missed, actually, PJ, you missed it. If you just came to the chat, you just missed my pitch. A horror Aries MCU film directed by Mike Flanagan. Come on. Anyway, well, hit rewind, PJ. You like that whole pitch, I think. I have a feeling. All right, well, let's go into my next pitch, my second pitch. Amadeus Cho recruits Hercules to join the Champions.
Okay.
Champions. Now,
Okay.
Champions is a big thing in Marvel now with a totally different cast, a younger group. It's Ms. Marvel, things like that. Now, but the original Champions were this goofy team from the 70s. They're actually called the Champions of Los Angeles. I kind of thought a cool way to introduce the new Champions, we could write a whole Champions trilogy. It would be the Champions of Los Angeles would get the first film. Right. And then at the end of that film, they would disband. And then at the end, there would be a post-credit scene with Amadeus Cho talking to Ms. Marvel, who's been cast already, obviously, saying something like the world still needs champions, which is their catchphrase. And that would lead into the Champions, the new Champions forming in the Champions 2 in a way. It's something that you've never seen done before. You have to establish it and then you have to take it away. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a one-off.
So this is why you wanted to cast a team as well.
I did. I wanted to cast this team.
Okay.
But my original team was a one-off team. I thought it'd be a fun one-off to do, a crazy zany adventure. It would have Hercules as Joe Manganiello. Now I am modernizing a little bit. I am modernizing this a little bit in terms of like it's going to be the same as the original 70s cast, but I am having Amadeus Cho in there as part of like the reason why they're getting together. But we're going to have Hercules. We're going to have Black Widow, of course, without ScarJo. We'll have Florence Pugh stepping into that Black Widow-esque character.
Like Florence and everything.
We're going to pitch my X-Men, Iceman, and Angel, because they're part of the cast. That's where I told you I wrote the rules a little bit. I'm going to take my Iceman and Angel cast from last week, Zola Maranduena and Brandon Flynn, and they're going to be my Iceman and Angel. We're going to have Ghost Rider as part of the team, because it was a really zany one-off team. It was hard to contain, so we didn't last very long, but I would love to have an idea of the really zany adventure with them for one film, played by Josh Holloway.
Josh Holloway for Ghost Rider, really?
I really think that he can pull off the like arrogance of it. Johnny Blaze always has his deep-seated arrogance to it. I want to see if he can get deeper and darker and tortured enough. I think he can, and I want to see it work. It might fail. It might fail, but I kind of like the idea of it. I thought about going back with Nick Cage, but I want to try something new. I know, PJ. I know. I thought about that, but I didn't want to cast somebody who was not.
The fact they didn't bring him back in WandaVision still makes me sick.
Finally, again, Pluto would again be Clive Owen, and of course, Amadeus Cho would be Ross Butler. Now, at the end, I talked about the post-credit scene already, where Amadeus Mo would bring in the new champions for the next film. I also think that Amadeus Cho at this point Hercules. Well, after they disband at the end for some reason. The group wouldn't last the team, and Herc would go with Amadeus Cho. My idea would be would eventually lead things into the Chaos War, because Hercules had a series after World War Hulk. So I don't know World War Hulk would necessarily work in the MCU with the way you have Mark Ruffalo as Hulk and everything else. I don't know if it would work. So World War Hulk led into this Hercules and Amadeus Cho storyline. I'd love to see that tackled, because it led into the Chaos War and things like that. So that's originally where we're going to lead that one, but that's later on. But I didn't give you my director. Before we go to your third and take that pitch, my director of the Champions, I want to give him a shot. He's had a few stumbles here and there, but I think he'd fit the zany energy enough for it. I'm going to go with Matthew Vaughn.
Okay.
I think you put that kind of crazy group together, they can do it.
Yeah. I see it. Okay.
All right. Let's hit your third.
Well, real quick before we get into my third, speaking of Ghost Rider, the one thing that I really hope they do, and I don't think it's going to be weird trying to do it with Bernthal, but I would love to see the Cosmic Ghost Rider brought onto screen. But that's obviously Frank Castle becoming the Ghost Rider, and I don't know if Bernthal can like pull off that kind of like craziness, but maybe. I don't know. I'd love to see it.
He could. He potentially could. I have faith in Bernthal. But
okay, so
third.
So I sent a text message once I came up with this idea to someone who is, I'll protect their identity, but someone who's fairly in the know when it comes to Marvel and it comes to the MCU. I sent them this entire pitch. Their literally one sentence response was, "That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard."
I'm sold to be
so. I knew I'm on the right path. Now, if you guys know me, you would probably think, oh, Matty's favorite types of movies, just broy action movies, martial arts movies, and Star Wars. I will correct you. Some of my absolute favorite movies are 90s and 2000s teen movies.
Okay.
Allow me to present to you Not another Teen Mutant.
Not another Teen Mutant. Okay, I love it.
So here's the pitch: the X-Men, the ones that we cast from last week, they've gone off on a mission. So, what do the mutants or the young mutants decide to do? They decide for a house party. Xavier, Cyclops, everyone's gone. They decided for a house party. So what could go wrong with a bunch of mutants throwing a house party? So now with teen movies, you have certain character tropes. And I got my notes here. I need to quickly refer to them. So if I'm looking off camera, like, excuse me.
Right.
If we're following the formula, you have the shy, quiet girl that comes into her own and then like slowly realize you get to know more of the character around her and she becomes, a pretty big character towards the end of the movie. If Harry Styles can come into the MCU, I'm casting Billie Eilish as Rogue.
Oh, that's a weird choice. It's a weird choice, but I'm here for it.
I don't know why. Just looking at her, I could just because like she doesn't have it'd be like I think it's her acting debut. So with Rogue, she wouldn't have to show emotion that much because of how closed off Rogue is. She's kind of a weirdo, kind of not to use the word freak, but kind of a freak. And Billie Eilish is like she's seen as a bit of a weirdo. So it's like okay. That's a bit of a Hail Mary, but
a little bit. I'm interested to see it.
She could also pull in the younger crowd. This is a teen movie we've seen with Ms. Marvel. Like they're moving more towards the teenage audience.
Okay.
So she could pull in that crowd. Okay. You have her quirky best friend in Jubilee, played by Madison Pettis, who has the experience from the most recent American Pie iteration I have yet to see, but I will watch. She also played the daughter in The Game Plan with The Rock. You know the little girl from The Game Plan?
Yeah, right. Okay.
So she plays Jubilee.
I like that. That's interesting.
You then have the antisocial bad boy who like he stays off in the corner, like no one talks to him. There, like everyone's afraid of him. He's the one that changes for the better because of the girl. So obviously, when picking my gambit, I'm going with Chase Stokes from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
With the hair, he's got the look for Gambit. He's got the jawline. I feel like he could probably pull off the Cajun accent.
Okay.
That southern drawl. I think he could probably pull that off.
Okay, I can see that. I could kind of see that. It'd be an interesting thing. You got some very big swings here, and I kind of love it.
This whole movie is a massive swing. But
it is.
I feel like it's my biggest stroke of genius.
It is either your biggest stroke of genius or your biggest catastrophic failure. We'll find out.
Apparently, it's the dumbest idea someone's ever heard. So, okay, so you have like the queen of the house, the stuck up, snotty prom queen. You have her character in Kitty Pryde. I'm changing the character of Kitty Pryde a bit. I'm making Kitty Pryde be a little bit of like a stuck up, snotty. To use, I'm not going to use the B word, but like a bit of a diva.
Okay.
She will be played by Millie Bobby Brown.
Ooh, that's good casting. Okay. That's a very cool casting choice. Having her go something that's against type for her to a degree, because she's always been more of the outsider herself in a way. So giving her a more central, like I like where your head's at. That's good. She might play against type.
Like the mean girl always comes around at the end. I want to hear Maddie's impression of a Southern drawl accent. Not gonna happen on stream. Not gonna happen on stream. I can do one, but it's not gonna happen on stream unless you donate money to streamlabs.com/PRD projects. If you get us to $100, I would do a Southern drawl accent.
There you go. Good way to pitch it there. There you go, Maddie.
This is possibly my best casting of the movie.
Okay.
You have this guy, to me, he's gonna be like the bro jock dude who like walks around like thinks he can get all the girls. What is a house party movie without the house getting set on fire? Okay. So I have Pyro. I love Riverdale, so of course I thought my perfect casting, Cole Sprouse.
Okay, I get that.
He looks like he could play a dick. He looks like he could play a dickhead.
I like that. I do like that. That's awesome.
And PJ's right? It's like
The X-Men
and the X-Mansion is
destroyed.
always being destroyed. So there we go. We have Pyro. How it works. It just works.
It does work. You're not
And
wrong.
then finally, we have the nerdy kid that gets bullied by the jock. And this is a kind of bit of a twist because I don't think this character was ever part of the X-Men. Toad, played by Noel Schnapp from Stranger Things, but he has to have the bowl cut.
Okay, I like that.
Plot twist at the end. The X-Men come back. They discover the house is in ruins. They all get yelled at. It's all Pyro's fault for blowing up the house. He decides, screw this, I'm going to leave. He takes the kid that he bullied in Toad, being like, hey, like, I'll be your best friend. We can leave together. Setting up a Brotherhood of Mutants movie.
Oh, no. Not the bowl
cut. Yes, the bowl cut, Lego. Yes, the bowl cut. Now, with all teen movies, you need an appearance by a pop punk band, for which I'm choosing the band State Champs. Obviously, you've had Blink-182, Green Day, Good Charlotte. They've all appeared in teen movies before, so I'm picking a newer band. The director for this masterpiece, it sucks because it wouldn't be able to happen, but there's only one director you can go with. It's John Hughes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, you can't really pitch him, obviously, but I get what you're going through. I'll let that slide to a degree because I do love that.
Yes. Mixed with Riverdale. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Anything further on that? Or are we all done with that?
I think I'm pretty done with that. Yeah, I'm done.
I like that. I do like that.
If anyone steals that pitch, I will find you and I will kill you.
Okay.
I'm watching you, Marvel.
Okay. This is my pitch now.
Let's do it.
When I fell in love with Hercules in Marvel Comics, when I fell in love with actually wasn't involved in the proper 616 universe. It was the Bob Layton miniseries.
Okay.
In 1982, I want to say it was Hercules of the 24th century. Now, since then, it's been called he's in a different Earth. He's in Earth 819 or something like that now, or 819. So I forget exactly what Earth it is. But it's actually an interesting take. Yeah, because he had 2 miniseries, a graphic novel, a short set in Marvel Comics Presents, and then another miniseries. This has been like a long story, which people don't even understand how long. Like 82, and like the last Twilight of the God was like sometime in the 2010s, I think, or whatever. So, I will say whatever the fuck I want to, PJ.
PJ's in the chat. You will address it by its proper name. You tell him, PJ.
Yeah. So this idea was Hercules he gets banished from Olympus for being too I don't know, cocky, disrespectful. He's playing. He starts like having sex with like 3 different like nymphs and upset Zeus during a religious ceremony.
Hello.
And Zeus like banishes him from Olympus.
Can I play Hercules?
Out. What?
Can I play Hercules?
Yeah, there you go. And already Joe Magnolia already told you that. And Hercules gets banished to the cosmos, and he actually goes through the cosmic universe, and he meets all these different adventures. There's not like one villain in the first miniseries. It's just these adventures. He ends up like having a drinking contest with Galactus. It's weird things. He has a serious role. The next miniseries is about coming home of the gods, and Zeus gets mad and kills all the Olympians, and Hercules has to come back and figure out what's going on. Eventually ends up being Hercules versus Zeus. It's a big, strong thing. Hercules also has a son that comes into play during the full circle, the graphic novel, and the next rest of the parts, and it ends up being Hercules versus his son for a bit before. It's a whole long story, but I decided looking at these different aspects, different miniseries, this would make a great Disney Plus TV series in the vein of Peacemaker. So I'm bringing James Gunn along as the show director.
Wow.
He's going from Guardians of the Galaxy and Peacemaker, Hercules, because it's a very Guardians of the Galaxy type vibe.
Yeah.
With Hercules in the lead role. But anyone can make an appearance because it's a different universe. But you could have the Guardians make an appearance. You could have Morbius and Loki make an appearance from
Morbius.
Not Morbius. Not that Morbius. The Owen Wilson Morbius.
Oh.
Owen Wilson and Loki
Oh,
Mobius. We could have.
we mentioned it loud. I was like, fuck, my heart was about to break out my chest.
You could have Thor make an appearance. You could have anybody you want. You could have Squirrel Girl as played by Anna Kendrick. See here, guys, I finally got Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl can make an appearance in this show.
Squirrel Girl played by Anna Kendrick, really?
I would play her by Anna Kendrick. Yes, I kind of feel she'd be really good. She'd be a good Squirrel Girl.
I feel like that's a casting that PJ I think will be acceptable with.
So it would be. I would consider it to be an amazing hub of a Disney Plus show where you could introduce all the zaniness of all the D-list characters and all the C-list characters, and if they hit, they can go off into their own series. But Hercules just goes week to week, different things. And some of the cast members involved would be Hercules. I have Joe Manganiello again. Zeus is obviously already Russell Crowe. Lyanna Sweetwater. Lyanna Sweetwater is a female at Hercules. He ends up sleeping with her. You think like she kind of pretends like she's being taken advantage of by this guy. She's really not. She's kind of a schemer. Ends up having a kid with her. And Lyanna Sweetwater having played by Samara Weaving. And Hercules' kid, Arimathes, who eventually Samara Weaving, Lyanna Sweetwater like leaves for a while, brings up Arimathes to be this like pompous prick who thinks that Hercules has all like done everything wrong and everything else. I have him played by KJ Apa.
Okay.
Riverside.
KJ Apa was in my running to play Pyro. I don't know why, but then like I just like looking at pictures of him, I was like, he's a little bit like too like he's like all the characters that I picked are fairly like young, but they look like they could play younger. I feel like KJ Apa like he looks like he could play his age, but not necessarily like a lot younger.
Yes, Riverdale, not Riverside. I know. I use Riverside to record my podcast. I have Riverside in my mind. God
damn it, I love Riverdale. I love Riverdale so much.
Yeah. A couple other castings in there. I had Hera. I wanted Julianne Moore to play.
Okay.
Let's see who else. Athena.
Not Hera from Star Wars.
No. Hera, the goddess, Zeus's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Athena, the goddess of knowledge, Vera Farmiga.
Mm-hmm.
And the two characters I have to introduce, one is the Recorder and one is Skippy the Skrull. The Recorder is kind of like a Data. Who's a
Skippy the Skrull.
Skippy the Skrull. SKYPPI. Now, I'll get to him in a second. The Recorder is going to be Freddie Highmore. Emotionless kind of thing, just like a droid. But now get to Skippy the Skrull is a Skrull who, like, back in the 80s when this was made, like, the Skrulls, when they aged too much, they were killed. Or they're sent to the funny farm or whatever. Well, he kind of escaped that and like was running like wild on his own. He ended up like running into Hercules and tagging along eventually. But he's like this very dirty old Skrull. He's always trying to get into. He's like trying to get. Like, he's very much a flirtatious guy and everything else. I kind of pictured Danny DeVito, like as in like doing the voice of Skippy the Skrull. Like it'd be a CGI character in a way, kind of like Rocket Raccoon, with Danny DeVito's voice, kind of like from
Can Danny DeVito just not play him?
He potentially could. It'd be interesting to see if I don't know if he's too old for it, but I'd like to see him try. I mean, either way, I'd like to see him physically try. If he can't do it, he can definitively do the voice.
Danny DeVito is Skippy the Skrull. That got me. I
love it. Yes, I agree. Melania Von Trapp would be good. Would be a good Squirrel Girl as well. Yes, you guys, you can go do that yourself. That's your pitch. But that's my enough pitching. I pitched the things. Yes, and I did pitch Hercules a lot because if I pitch Hercules at least 3 times, one of them will eventually get made. I'll finally get Hercules in the MCU.
I have one question.
Okay.
Does Arnold make any appearance as like an older Hercules, a multiversal Hercules? There's like
anything can happen. That's the greatest part about this show to me. And you could do anything. It's got the zaniness of Guardians of the Galaxy where anything could possibly happen. And yes, I did do that purposefully. I actually did that purposely. Danny DeVito on another Hercules project, actually playing a similar character. The Satyr like is actually a similar type of character. It's a little more, a little, I don't know, more about the women than about being gruff, but it's pretty similar. So that's where I got it.
We got a bunch of Hercules content from POD. We got the greatest teen movie ever to be written since Van Wilder.
That's right.
Even though no way could they make Van Wilder right now, but
no, never again.
But God, now I'm just imagining Van Wilder in the MCU. This is actually what Deadpool is.
Pretty much.
I think Feige would be okay with giving us the reins.
I think
we'd be all right.
It'd be golden. It'd be golden age.
We'd make him a lot of money, I feel. We'd also spend it with the cast that we picked.
That's very true. Well, one last thing we're going to do, I think, before we get out of here.
Yes.
We do want to do this. I got Cole, who is a very big action fan. She's in Action Chat. She's also in the Ben Bateman. We love Cole out there. Hopefully she sees this. She tagged me on Twitter with this. I watched like the first minute. I decided I want to react to this live.
Let me do.
You can go to hell. So we're gonna do this. This is Matty Gunner and myself reacting to Nick Cage.
I hope you're still in the chat for this.
I hope Jarvi is too as well. I gotta find the tab I did it on. Where is it? Hold on. This is going to be as ridiculous as it sounds. I think. I don't know. I can't even imagine.
It's hilarious to me that Nick Cage's son is in a black metal band, and it's like, of course, Nick Cage's son would be.
Nick Cage's son is a black metal band, of course, death metal. All right, let's see what the Nick Cage has to say.
Let's do it.
On any social media, it's antithetical to my beliefs, but here I am doing this. Yes, hello GQ. I'm Nicolas Cage, and today I'm going undercover on the internet.
He seems like the type me.
It's Nick Cage.
100%.
Reddit.
There is a subreddit devoted to you. Have you heard of this?
I heard about it. I did hear that Reddit has a something about me.
You know what it's called?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I'm not going to say it.
That's so good for his
that would
age,
be arrogant.
That would be
what
arrogant.
movie role would have been improved by casting Nicolas Cage?
Oh,
I can't answer that either because that would be arrogant for me to determine what I would have been better at than somebody else.
How does he sound arrogant saying
TIL, that Nicolas Cage spent $150 million on a 70-million-year-old dinosaur skull.
This is actually
the
him.
skull I bought at an auction, and I bought it legally. Here's the MacGuffin. When the Mongolian government said that they needed it back, I gave it to them, but I never got my money back. So somebody at the auction house should be in jail.
Wait. I bought it legally.
It's the fact that he bought a dinosaur skeleton from the Mongolian government and then they got it back. And he didn't get the money back.
Okay. Let's continue.
TIL, Nicolas Cage and Gary Oldman were the original choices to play Harry and Lloyd.
True.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was Jim from the beginning. I know Jim wanted me to be in it with him, but I wanted to do a little movie called Leaving Las Vegas instead. What would the most annoying sound in the world have sounded like, though?
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
I don't know how to answer that. In 1997, Tim Burton wanted to make a Superman movie starring Nicolas Cage. Why can't they just make this now? Would it matter how much time I appeared as the character?
No.
It might still be a chance. Posted. Wikipedia.
Yes.
Well, Wikipedia is something that people go in and they change any way they want. So I'm not sure all the facts are true in Wikipedia, but at 15 years old, he tried to convince his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, to give him a screen test, telling him, "I'll show you acting." That's in fact. Yeah, that did happen. And I was met by silence in the car. Next.
I gotta go back on that one.
Francis Ford Coppola's his uncle?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Convinced his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, to give him a screen test, telling him, "I'll show you acting." That's in fact. Yeah, that did happen. And I was met by silence in the car. Next. For Birdie, in order to physically feel the pain of his character, Cage removed 2 teeth without any anesthesia. Yeah, anesthesia. Yeah, that's a fact. But so you don't think I'm completely out of my mind. I had to pull the baby teeth out anyway. The timing of it worked out. It made me seem like a method lunatic. But the truth is, it was something I had to do anyway. Next. In February 2011, he realized that he had developed his own method of acting, which he described as nouveau shamanic. He noted at some point, I'll have to write a book. Nouveau shamanic is something I came up with because I like the French sound nouveau. I thought it had a kind of a fun sound, meaning new. I had read a book called The Way of Weird by Brian Bates, and he was putting forth the notion that all actors, whether they know it or not, are recruiting the same instincts of the early shamans in the old villages from hundreds and thousands of years ago. And I like that idea, the idea of exploring your imagination. So that's where that came from.
And have you written the book yet?
No.
I love this man so much. Right. Okay, continuing.
Yeah, go on.
YouTube. Whoever thought that Nicolas Cage would play as Spider-Man? Well, Spider-Man Noir was great. I really enjoyed playing that part. I liked it because I was able to bring some of my own personal interests in the early actors of the 30s and 40s, like Bogart and Cagney, that were in all those noir films. So that was fun for me. And they let me do it, which is unusual. Replied. This is the greatest casting of all. Yeah, but that was something that didn't happen. This Nicolas Cage is Joe Exotic, and it's probably just as well. It seemed like a fun character to play, but I have nothing in common with Joe Exotic.
Yeah, right.
Cora. How did Nicolas Cage think about the decision to name his son Kal-El? Kal-El is a Hebrew name, and it means voice of God. It's also from a very famous character. I think it's a beautiful name, so that's why.
That.
I didn't know it either.
And Ghost Rider, are Nicolas Cage's abs real? They are real, and that's why I will never work out that hard again, because nobody wanted to believe they were real. They wanted to believe it was CGI, which it wasn't. So what's the point? Has Nicolas Cage ever turned down a movie offer? All the time. I know that's not the urban myth you want it to be, but I turn him down all the time.
I thought he took everything he was offered. That was
Twitter.
Kind of the point.
Yeah, I did too.
Tattoo face-off, Nicolas Cage versus John Travolta. Winner. Oh, it's got to be Travolta. Has to be Travolta.
Has to be Travolta.
Speed round, fave Nicolas Cage meme. I kind of like the vampire one right off the bat. This early picture of me. I like that because it's an early black and white picture. I think it looks pretty cool.
How do you feel about memes with you in general?
What am I going to do about it? It's there. TikTok.
Oh no!
I have no relationship with TikTok whatsoever.
Fucking liar.
Nicolas Cage plays Nick Cage. What if Nick Cage didn't get the role? Well, I think that would have been fascinating to see someone else play me, which was my first suggestion, but they didn't want to go for that. They said they had to have the real me, whatever that means. Posted. Okay, that's it. I'm signing off.
That was great.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh,
That was so good.
who would have? I like him and MPH sitting next to each other. I think MPH could have done it.
That's from the movie. That's what it is. That's from the movie that's coming out. The unbearable weight of talent, or whatever it is. The unbearable weight. Massive weight. Nick Cage. What's this?
Oh my god, that was
Unbearable weight of massive talent.
that was glorious.
So glorious. I too, PJ. I do want to have a beer with Nick Cage.
I want to have it.
Like, I think it's not as funny because you've watched and read so many. I guess that if you watch a lot of them, it could definitely kind of like they start blending together at some point. I'm sure. I just never get tired of watching him. He's such a unique person.
He's not of this plane of existence.
So what's the point? I feel this is a specific level,
right?
Yes, unbearable weight of massive talent. I can't wait for that movie to come out. That looks freaking good.
So
freaking good.
I just want to get Nick Cage and Tommy Wiseau into a have one of those actor on actor conversations between Nick Cage and Tommy Wiseau.
Oh my!
I feel like that'd be perfect. GQ, get on that.
Get on that. All right, folks. Let's see. I guess that's all the time we're going to have today. Oh no! Before. I love Nick Cage, like not a joke. I think legitimately think
Yeah.
he's amazing. I do. I also think he's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I am not slamming on him at all. It's just
We
the
would
way
never.
he speaks. It's a unique. He has such a unique life. I would love him in anything. I'd watch him in anything. I have no this is never meant a slam. The dude is incredible. It is amusing the way he sometimes he has a music outlook on life that's different than most people I know. And I'm totally here for it.
I love that he does what he wants to do, gives zero shits what anyone expects of him. Like
100%.
look at Pig. Like you look at Pig as a movie on paper, and you're like, well, that's gonna suck. That's gonna be another Nick Cage straight to DVD. Then you're watching, it's like, whoa.
Even his straight to DVDs, he puts so much. He always commits 1,000%. And I'm
Have
all
you ever
here
seen
for it.
Firebirds,
Mhm.
also known as Wings of the Apache?
Mhm.
Horny Nick Cage in that movie with Tommy Lee Jones is just the best.
He is something. He's really something. So I would not ever. So Lego, just know that I would never say a bad word about Nick Cage. He's very unique and very amusing to watch. So that's all for us for today. Matty, where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner, Twitch Matty Gunner TV. Every Thursday and Sunday on the Wild Jones Podcast Network for the ONU MMA show, breaking down the week's fight sports. This week I'll be giving my recap of UFC London, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And my band Shadow of Azrael, go check us out. We got EP coming April 8th by Homesick Records. That's now available to pre-order anywhere, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your music. Check us out.
All right, me at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me at Crown Jewels at Spotify at about a half an hour. Tomorrow at 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern, PJ and I's next episode of Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film as we go over The Curse of La Llorona, which, I'm sorry, as PJ's in the chat, he'll make me say this, The Conjuring Universe presents The Curse of La Llorona. And of course, you can find me back here next week on Tuesday as well again for another episode of Scoundrels and with the Action Industries YouTube channel. And finally, also Movie Trivia Schmodown, Friday Night Titans. Get on if you haven't. If you fell off Movie Trivia Schmodown, get back on with Friday Night Titans. It's a great show. It's a TV show. It's fun. It's adventuresome. Be nice to hashtag team writing team because we are human. So be nice to us as well. And yeah, we will see you next week. Same place, same time, all out knowing. Love you guys. Take care.